Okay, so this is the basic kind of this is the basic kind of skeleton sketch that I would do before. There's the shoulder blades. I wish Twitch would fuck off. It's really starting to piss me off. Alright. Here we go. And that's the page. Oh, my son is killing my back. Then what we're going to do, now that we've got this all sorted, is we are going to do the next part. Opacity of that down. I'm going to choose the next colour to do our drawing. So I'm going to do a dark blue. Is now we're going to start putting muscle and meat on the bone. So, hang on. So what I generally do, start with just the outline. Now I've had a lot of practice, right? I know where all the muscles are. And the best way to get that knowledge and that practice is to pretty much just keep practicing drawing people over and over again. Now this is not going to be the most perfect drawing, and it's probably going to be a bit crap, but alright, so here's where things get gnarly. You're probably going to start bumping into problems. You got the leg. And they're very definite kind of shapes that legs follow. And she's quite clear in that she's got, you got this kind of a muscular kind of part there, you know. And then you've got your patella. And then the rest of the kind of the knee, there's a kind of a joint shape there like that, right? And then it tends to go down, more of a concave line there. And you've got muscle here. And then round here is when you've got some kind of body fat. Now she's got butts. A little butt ski right there. It's flat because she's sitting down. So I'm kind of just sort of roughly putting in where the body mass is. She's got muscles here. Got a bit of an indent there where most people have. And here, this is that hip shape here. Gut there. That's usually a fold of some kind here, depending on how big and how small someone is. Now the leg, this is where you're going to come into trouble if you don't have a lot of experience with anatomy. You've got this leg coming down out under here, underneath this crossed over leg. Now limb crossover can be a real pain in the ass, especially if you're not used to, you know, so you got to decide where that knee is. I'm just, yeah, guessing, but because I've drawn enough people, I can kind of guess where it would go. So it's probably going to go something like this. So you got your patella, that first half, and that second half of the knee, right? So something like that. That's probably going to go like that. Then we're going to have this arm here. Now, on most shoulders, there's kind of a bicep muscle here. And then a muscle here like that. That kind of comes down there like that. Even in women. And there's this one comes down. And this is a bone where most of the muscle is attached down here in that elbow. This part of this arm is usually curved like that. And this one There's a muscle here that does all the work in the hand. It comes up here, and then you got there like that. And I'm just gonna, because I want to do the other hand before we figure out the fingers on this one. You've just got the top of this hand here, and this hand's kind of easy because you don't have to worry about it. You got that very important bone there. Whoops, just dropped a pen on my son's sleeping head. And then the heel of the hand there. You got your tendons here of the wrist. I'm going to come down. That muscle there. And then we're going to have this bone here that comes down, right? But it's crossing over, okay? It's not just a straight line, it's crossing over from the top to the bottom, right? To the top of the arm, to the bottom of that wrist. So we're going to do that, top to the arm, bottom of the wrist, and then from there we build the elbow. Now the skin of the arm, because it's folded, is pressed out. You can see that. And you kind of want to capture that because it gives that kind of sense of mass to the body and softness to the skin. So we've got that. It's important to have that line there. And this here, and then we're going to have that breast is all pressed up against the arm here, so we've got that shadow. I can't really see what's going on very well. Now the other shoulder, it's obscured by the hair, but because your shoulders, this shoulder is actually coming up here like this, and you want to get that line in because yeah, you're going to obscure it with hair in a minute, but you just want to make it all really kind of solid. So I'm just going to put in the diaphragm space, right? Because I probably won't actually leave that line there in the last sketch, but it's just kind of there for me to plot out, yeah, plot out stuff. Now there's usually a line underneath an armpit here, like that, you know. It's a bit more of a roundness there, isn't it? And she's got boobage coming here. Her sternum is here. It's important to know where the sternum is so that when you're doing your clavicles up here, and I know the collarbone, something to understand. I think my shoulder's a bit high there. I mean, even I'm going to make mistakes because, you know, nobody's perfect. Nobody's got the perfect vision or whatever. That's better. When you have the body up like that, there's usually a fold of muscle up the back there. That happens when the shoulder's up like this. You know, when somebody's got their shoulders up, it's just the boobs. And the shoulders are up, and you got your neck there like that. If shoulders go up in a shrug, like this is very bad sketching, by the way. There's usually like stuff happening back there, and then a shadow here. You know, like I'll show you from the side. And the neck, and if you shrug your shoulders up here like this, then there's going to be skin coming up there. So at the back, because there's muscles at the back of the neck that come down, right, down to the shoulder blade. There's muscles down there from the back, but they're kind of at the back. They're not really at the front. And the front got these clavicles here, and then it's kind of like, hang on, I'll use a lighter colour so that you see what I'm talking about. It's like a fold. If it was on her, those neck muscles would be here like that. At the back, they're your dorsals. So when you're doing shrugging shoulders, remember to have that there. You don't just have kind of like a comical gap where the, you know, it's not like head, neck, and then you shrug your shoulders up here, yeah, and then just do that. That's not the way it goes. You can't do it like that. That just looks silly. You got that, but you've got this bridge of muscle here that's coming from up there to the neck, like that. Does that make sense? It's a bit hard for me to explain. I'm not really. It's kind of like that. Anyway, I need a better eraser. Cool. Alright, I'm glad I'm understood. Alright, so let's map this bloody hand, shall we? Because it's going to be a real pain in the ass. I'm just going to move. Actually, no, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that baby, mask it, and I'm going to make it just so that we've got that hand. I mean, generally speaking, you don't want to put your anatomy in isolation, but I really want to zoom in and show you how I do this. Because generally, you want to be holistic when you're doing your anatomy. And by holistic, I mean looking at the whole and where it fits with the focus that you're doing. Okay, so let's get this hand over closer to, there we go, that's good. Alright, let's zoom into this. I'm going to use a more detailed pencil. This is my, no, that's okay, you don't have to respond to everything. This is my Sketchbox pencil kit that I made for Procreate, which is what I'm doing this on. So, as you can see, what I haven't noticed is that her hand is actually a bit tilted, and I haven't got that tilt there. So what I want to do, hang on, I'm mixed up in my layers. There we go, got you. So I'm actually just going to, oh shit, didn't realize how big that was. Okay, so we're just going to imagine where the planes of her hands are. The bone is here, and we've got that coming down here like this, okay? And this is where that knuckle is with her, that first finger. You're basically going knuckle to knuckle. Okay, and we're going to get that thumb in. You just got to think of it structurally, you know. But I think the other thing is not to get too hung up on details at this point in time, because the details will undo you. Just save that for when it's time. And most of the hand is actually obscured here, so you can just come in with this last bit of finger there. You don't even see that other half. Okay, and I've made that palm a bit fat, so we're just gonna, it's a very small hand really. And you just fiddle with it until you feel like you've got that hand where you're like, I mean, this is very rough for me. I usually will spend a lot more time trying to get things perfect before I move on. But this is just the second pass, by the way, as well. I do 3 passes at least when doing a piece. And this is what I mean by not doing it in isolation. You see how that hand just has nothing to do with like the rest of it because I've done it in isolation. I hate it. I'm going to start again. But I just wanted to show you how you kind of follow that. I'm just going to re-sketch that in because I didn't like that. Here we go, we've got that thumb. Man, this one's hard. I'm a seasoned artist and I'm having a problem with this hand. Okay, that makes more sense than what I drew before. Pay attention to the knuckles so that you don't get sausage fingers. I have sausage fingers there right now, but I'm in a rush doing this because, yeah. So she's got a very narrow face. One of the most important things to get right is the hairline. If you get the hairline wrong, you know, yeah, I'm not going to get this super photographically realistic because I do not have the time to do that. Teeth. The trick with teeth, again, don't worry about the detail, okay? You just want a flash of teeth like that, okay? If you try and do too much detail with your teeth, you just end up with these, like people sometimes do, like, okay, so if we're going to do her mouth, the biggest mistake people would do is try to draw every single tooth like that, okay? Really go in there and do all the detail on those teeth like that, okay? Don't do that. It looks like she's got a dirty mouth. Just don't do that at all. What you want to do is you want to come in and just sort of capture the light and dark. Right, she's got a little bit of bottom teeth exposed. Alright, and you want this, just the top shadow. And then there's the top bottom lip. So it's very messy what I'm doing here, but you see what I mean? Like you kind of just get the shadow rather than the whole line. If you start drawing lines in with everything, you're going to be there all day and it makes the teeth look wrong. You just want to pick your shadows so that it's not too dirty looking. Okay, so, but I'm not going to go into that much detail with her face because alright, so it's very, very rough. You want that just to really show that she's gnashing her teeth. There's little physical signs that... Now the hair, this is where her head is. And you want to kind of just follow. Don't bother trying to draw it a hair at a time. Look at it as locks of hair that you know, chunks of hair. Look at it sculpturally, and it will kind of... It's got a couple of... like that. There's a big curl there. Okay, so that's what we're kind of doing, just a kind of a vague... It's a curl that comes down onto here. That's the arm there. Okay, so that's the rough second anatomical pass. And this is where I start coming in with... We'll do the final one with the black. Now, if I were doing comics, I would probably do like a ink sketch here, but because I'm doing just a kind of a life sketch... Oh, hang on, I always do this wrong layer. Okay, this is so rough, I don't even have the words for how rough it is, but... And here we go. This is probably the bit that's probably the most satisfying for me, is when we start coming in. People that are learning how to draw from me. So my daughter was asking who I was talking to. That's okay, sweetheart. I'm just doing the last pass now with the this is just the outline. I'm kind of following all the anatomy that I've laid out, and you kind of do this with fine art as well. Got that elbow there. I'm leaving the hardest bit till last because I'm a coward. Get this leg going on here. Busy, baby. I'll be out there in a minute, okay?
I love you.
I love you too.
Who's that?
Drawing a lady. She's sitting down.
That where?
Hmm?
That where? On the chair?
Oh, she's got no chair. She's just sitting there.
Is it on the floor?
Yeah.
Except then where?
I think there's a chair that she's sitting on. I don't know. The picture doesn't show all that. Shoulder. And then that fucking hand. Alright, here we go.
I found some silver hair clips.
Oh, cool, babe. Mummy's busy. Can you go hang out with Daddy for a bit?
I'll just put them on my bed.
Okay. I nearly got this all done. Can't see the little finger. Alright. So there we have... See that? That's basically your sketch. Now, when you're doing this in pencil or whatever,
Ta-da!
you kind of want...
Ta-da!
Oh, it's very good, baby. Go on. You kind of want all that underdrawing if you want a certain style. But, you know, I'm just going to come in here very roughly. Just put in the... Thanks, darling. And we're just going to kind of roughly go in and... So here we go. I'm just putting in those shades. And I understand that I'm just kind of plonking them in and I'm not telling you what I'm doing, which is bad. But basically I'm just copying what I'm seeing. Yeah? I'm copying the... And this is the what they call the sculpting phase of the... Now here's the thing though, this is mainly a very comic book kind of way. If you're doing a real fine art sketch, you might just have that basic, the passes that I have and incorporate them into the final thing and putting in tone as you go. What I'm doing now is putting in the tone. I've been teaching you the linear way to kind of put stuff in. Some people just go straight for the tone. They just look for the form. and they don't even worry about what I'm doing. And you can kind of do that if you're approaching it from a light and shadow kind of way, and it's good to do it like that if you're kind of in a life drawing kind of situation. If you're learning all about anatomy, it's good to kind of do it the way I did it so that you can understand what you're looking at, you know. And I think the most important thing to remember is there's no one way to do what I'm doing here. Some people have ways that work for them. I'm teaching you what has worked for me over the years. This is just how I do it.